Okay, today we have this Marantz 1810 from 1978. Today we're going to be measuring and probably changing some of these idler wheels and pulleys. Okay, so we're going to be calibrating them and we'll be measuring them and finding out which ones are the best. And then we'll be conditioning them. So this is going to be a pretty extensive video. So let's get this top off and start looking at the mechanism. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this motor off, taking this pulley off, taking this pulley off. We'll be removing this bracket right here because we're going to be taking everything out of here. The flywheel is going to come out, all of it. So, and we're going to be comparing these idler tires and pulleys to the ones that are in here. And whichever ones are the best are going to go back into it. So, for right now, we're going to take these 3 screws out. Okay. Now there's no Loctite on any of these screws because this has been taken apart several times before. So I won't have to use any acetone or any chemicals like that. So, okay, let's get this motor off. Okay, with the motor off, you can just set it right aside. I'll take this belt here off, set it aside. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this pulley and that idler tire. And this will come right off. It's just this one screw right here. So we'll get that off. Okay. With this pulley off, and after measuring it with this tool here and comparing it to this one here is the better one. So this one will go on in its place. Okay. So we're going to set this one aside. Now we're going to take this spring off of this post right here. So that will just slide right off. Then there's a small C-clip right here. Okay, we're going to take that off, and then this idler will come off. Okay, I'll be careful not to lose that little C-clip, because if you do, then you'll have to go to a hardware store to replace it. Just saying. So I'm going to take that spring off, take that little clip off, and then this will come off. Then we're going to measure this idler tire and compare it with this one. Okay, so okay, with that little C-clip removed, this will just slide right off of here. Okay, okay, so now I'm going to compare this one to that one and see which one is the better one. And like I said, I'll be measuring them with this tool here. Then we're going to pull this gear off, take this bracket, this flywheel off, and we're going to be removing this inner idler tire. Okay, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. So now I'm going to measure these here. Okay, so now this gear here will just slide right out of here. And set that aside. So now I'm going to remove this bracket, flywheel, belt. If this is your first time doing this, make sure you use acetone on these screws because they'll have Loctite on them and you will strip them out. So you make sure you use acetone on any screw that has that Loctite on them because you will strip them. So I'm going to take this bracket and this flywheel out of here. Okay, with that bracket removed, now I can take the flywheel out of here. Okay. You need to be careful because there's some washers on this flywheel. Okay. So you can see those washers on there. You don't want to lose those. Okay. So, okay. With this little spring right here removed off of its post. Well, that's smart. I almost lost my little C-clip. Okay. So, with that little spring taken off of its post, now this idler here, all I have to do is remove this little C-clip here and this little C-clip here. Okay, and then I can remove this spring right here, and then this mechanism will have enough wiggle room. I'll be able to unlatch this right here because this hooks on back here. There's a little catch back there which you could see on this one. Okay, so that is hooked on in there and down here. So like I said, this C-clip here and this C-clip here and this little spring right here, and that will make it easy to get that out of there. So, okay. Okay, with these two C-clips removed, I just turned that little spring around this little corner here. Okay, that should give me enough room to get this out of here. Okay, so okay, after measuring them, the one on the right has the better tire on it, so this one will go back in there. So I had to engage the play mechanism to bring the mechanism up high enough so this little latch would release. Okay, so now this will go back in and reconnect up to that post. So, but while I'm in here, I'm going to give this idler here some rubber renew. Okay, everything will get a good dose of rubber renew. Okay, So, but this will be the one that goes back inside. I'm going to pause the video while I put some rubber renew on there. And then put this back in there. Okay. So, this idler is put back in there. Okay. All I need to do is connect this little spring up to this little post right here. Okay. All you need is some tweezers or a little watchmaker's tool or a dental pick, whatever. Okay. I put some rubber renew on both of those wheels. I have to put the two C-clips, one right here and one right here. Put those on. So, moving right along. Okay. With the two C-clips put back on, here and here, this is all connected. Okay. The little spring is back up on its post. Both wheels got rubber renew. Okay. So everything's moving real nice and free. Just the way we want it to do. Okay. Now we can start installing the rest of this stuff. But the hard part is over. We're not going to go any deeper than that. Okay. And I'm very satisfied with how this is working out. So, we're going to put some rubber renew on each wheel as we put them back in. Now that we've chosen the best ones for the deck. Okay. So the next one to go on is this gear right here. So there you go. That's on. So now we're gonna put some rubber renew on this and then we'll put it on. Okay. With this one back on, all I have to do now is put that little C-clip on there. That little tiny clip right there. I'll put that on there. Reconnect this spring to this post right here. Okay. And then that one will be good. So, and get that little C-clip on there, connect that spring, and then we can move on to conditioning this one and getting it put on there. Okay. Okay. That little C-clip on, the spring back onto its post. Double check all your C-clips. Okay. I like to make all mine face downward for some reason. Maybe I'm just weird like that, but okay. So yeah, this is all good right here. So now it's time to condition this one and put it back on. Okay. After giving this one here some rubber renew, okay, now this little ring right here is the clutch. Okay, if your clutch is slipping for the auto stop mechanism or anything like that, fast forward, rewind, okay, there's little levels. You would turn that little copper, brass, whatever the hell that is. Okay, you could rotate that. The higher you go, the tighter the clutch will get. You can see the clutch pad underneath of that idler tire. Okay, so this is set at about halfway. Okay, so if you want to make your clutch tighter, you would turn that clockwise up a step. Okay, but be sure not to damage your cassette tape. Clutch doesn't need to be super tight. Okay, but that's what that is. That's the clutch, and that's how you would adjust it. Turn it to the left, loosens the clutch. Turn it to the right, increases the clutch. Okay, so now we're going to put this back on with this spring from the other one. Okay, so, and we're going to put that right in there. Okay, before you tighten this screw all the way down, okay, you want to lift this spring here. I put mine up onto the second post because there's 3 posts right here. Okay, so this has to have a little room to move, and you don't want too much pressure. So if I put that up onto this 3rd post, it would be too much pressure. But you can see everything moving real nice and smooth. Okay, so this is doing very well. All right, so this is back in. This is back up onto its little post right here. So now we can put the flywheel back in. Okay, start putting some belts back on. So the hard part is over. We got the correct wheels in there, and we can start reassembling this now. Okay, got the flywheel back in. Put a little bit of oil on that front bearing where the washers are. Put a little bit of oil on the back thrust bearing before we put that on. So that's all looking good. Got the belts in there. We're ready to put the motor back on. All right. Okay. You got the bracket on, screws in it. Got the motor back on. Belts are installed. Everything is spinning freely. Nothing is binded. Belts are all nice and straight. So everything's looking good. Time to turn it around, plug it in, and start testing it. Okay, well, we got the unit all back together. Okay, so we're going to test it, and I'm only going to be able to play it for a second because YouTube will give me a strike. Okay, so here we go. Okay, any more of that and I'd be getting a strike. I probably will get one, but you know, that's life. So let's try rewind. Nice, smooth, fast. Fast forward. Nice, smooth, fast. Try play again. Okay, and anytime you do a repair like this, you have to make sure the pause is functioning, okay? Because those tolerance for the idler wheels are very, very tight. Okay, so if you don't have these tolerances correct, then it won't totally function right. Plus, part of the mechanism that we were working on has a lot to do with the pause and the fast forward. Okay, those little C-clips that we were taking out to get that last idler tire out is basically for this mechanism here, moving up and down. Okay, so that little tiny idler tire was for the fast forward and the rewind. Okay, they were both connected with those C-clips in those two mechanism plates. Okay, but we're doing good. Okay, I'll put it back on the stereo, connect it all up, do a final 440 hertz test, you know. So, but that's how you change all the idler tires inside the mechanism of a Marantz 1810. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day.